Good afternoon, Miami. I'm Gio with Recharge Your Life, and I am your local community health and life coach, always bringing you ways to balance your well being and recharge. You know that I'm all about balancing your well being through all the areas of life. And today we're going to focus on health. And boy, do I have some juicy stuff for you today. And why? Because we're going to dig into the body, the health of it, the optimization. And my guest today is the perfect example of health and how to get it done or where you can start. So, with that, please let me welcome or allow us to welcome Jason Goodrich. Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm so happy to have you on here because everybody, I'm going to say probably 99.1% of people are curious either about their body, their health, how to take care of it. They're currently taking care of it. We somehow always are managing to have to manage with our body. Would you agree?
Yes.
Beautiful. So with that, I want you to start and tell us a little bit about who are you?
Well, my name is Jason Goodrich. I've been in the fitness industry for about 15 plus years. I recently opened a gym called the Athletic Compound with a specialized class called the Inferno. And I still have several private clients and high school, college, and pro athletes that I train also.
Okay. Very nice. So you specialize in performance, taking care of the body. Is that how you would sum it up?
I wouldn't say I specialize in that. I'm qualified and certified to train every population. Probably the most difficult one would be called special populations, people with injuries, disabilities, so on and so forth. But I would say my niche is performance-based, athletes, sports performance, body performance, body composition.
Got it. And we all have our story. And I always love to get to the root of it as to how did you get into this? Like, tell me a little bit about, because you're passionate about this, correct?
Correct. Yes. Very much so.
So how did you get into this?
Well, I mean, fitness wasn't even really on my agenda for most of my life. I was a little kid playing sports outside. My dad was a professor. His class was business. He's finished at FIU, recently retired. And so all throughout my life, it's about school, business, work, get your studies done, so on and so forth. Which was, that's cool. But as a kid, your mind is elsewhere. So, I was always playing sports, basketball, football, baseball outside. And as I got older, I specialized mostly in basketball. So I started playing basketball when I got to Miami. Met one of my best friends at the time. His name is Chris Green. He was a point guard, and he got me into basketball. We started playing. And I just fell in love with it more so than any other sport. And so I was always obsessed with how to make myself a better basketball player. And then at that time, I was a little overweight, heavy. I was taking a lot of medication for asthma, which blows you up with water, adds the weight. So at that point in time, I was always trying to find a way to make myself a better athlete, faster, stronger. And then at that time, my focus in school and so on and so forth was business, marketing, along the lines of my father. But a few years in, that kind of got a little bit boring. I found myself, instead of researching more about business, and look, I did marketing. Marketing was great for me. I love that. That's the part of business that I love, trying to get people passionate about something to do something. But other than that, it was kind of, but I always found myself reading up, looking up things for the body, exercise, food, how to be a better athlete. And then, so I ended up, when I got to college, changing my major from business and marketing to exercise science and physiology. And that's where it started. That's where it started.
Because it sounds like you were being curious about things related to health and the body through your love of basketball.
Yes.
Love that. But what I also heard from you, though, is, and I think that this is important to our audience, is that along this journey, you have faced some health adversity that you had to kind of see your way through. So even though today most people are seeing you like successful, healthy looking, in shape, you've learned how to kind of balance that. And we're going to talk about that. Right. Talk to me a little bit around kind of getting through that, right? Navigating through having these challenges and obstacles personally, health-wise, because I know that there's a lot of people out there saying, okay, yeah, I would love to look like him, or I would love to start, or I'm having some difficulties because I have some challenges and issues. So just give me a little bit around that.
Well, my biggest challenge growing up was my asthma.
Okay.
So I was a heavy asthmatic, was in the hospital, in and out of the hospital a lot, sometimes very serious.
Hmm.
And with the medication they put me on, which is called prednisone, it's a steroid. And even though it helped me with my asthma, helped me function better, it also blew me up.
Okay.
So basically, I spent most of my childhood overweight
Okay.
until I got to high school, until
Okay.
10th and 11th grade. So I was pretty much overweight my whole childhood because
So
of
what
that.
clicked?
Well, what helped me the most was I was always active.
Okay.
Okay. Even with the asthma, even with the overweight, I was always active. But what clicked basically was I started to grow out of it, and the doctors allowed me to wean off the medication.
Okay.
So once I got off the medication and then continued my activity, playing basketball outside, whatever it was, the weight just started to melt off. I was a kid. I was in high
Yeah.
school. I was eating whatever. I wasn't paying attention, but that one thing alone, the elimination of the medication, was pretty much the biggest factor in everything
Got it.
turning around.
Got it. Okay. So, and that's an important part of your journey, correct?
Yeah.
So today you said that you are the owner of the athletic compound, correct?
Correct.
So tell me about that.
Well, it's a small boutique gym located in Kings Creek, right next to where everyone knows, Hole in the Wall. I opened it to focus on my clients and athletes, but also I developed a specialized class called the Inferno, which is just basically years and years of my training and certifications all lumped into one program.
Yeah. And I want you to talk about specifically about that concept because as a user myself of your facility, I had never really experienced that because I came in with preconceived notions, different expectations, which we're going to talk about that.
Right.
But talk to me a little bit about that concept and your philosophy around your belief and why you do it that way.
Okay. Well, I've done everything as a fitness professional. I've done boot camps. I've been a CrossFit instructor. I've done TRX. I've been a TRX instructor. I mean, I've done it all. I'm certified through everything. And there's certain things that I like more than others, certain things that I gravitate towards more than others. But one thing I wanted to do was give people an experience of not everyone's an athlete, not everyone plays a sport, but a lot of people watch it. A lot of people wish they were athletes. A lot of people, sometimes want to be weekend warriors. That's fine. That's good. But what I want to do is give them the feeling of training like an athlete. What do my athletes go through when they train, the different phases of training? So what I've done is I've taken every aspect of what I've done coaching wise and put it into this program. So there's elements of everything. There's elements of boot camp. There's elements of CrossFit. There's elements of body weight. There's elements of gymnastics, cardiovascular, everything. And I wanted to combine it into a program that lets any individual participate. Doesn't matter what fitness level you are, wherever you start is your starting point, and it's our job as coaches and professionals to guide you to your better self. So I take that very seriously. I want people to come in there and improve no matter what level they are. And one of the things that I wanted to get away from, like everyone is oh my God, CrossFit, or I'm going to get hurt, or is it for me? Is it too intense? And it doesn't matter what training program you start. If you start too intense or too high at too high of a level, you're going to hurt yourself, or there's something detrimental that could happen. So it doesn't have to be CrossFit. It could be yoga. It could be just regular weight training with your friend. It could be anything. So I don't like people to get the notion in their head that if they see some Olympic movements in my class, oh my God, this is CrossFit. No. Okay, these are Olympic movements, compound movements that you do every day functionally. You just don't realize it.
Yeah.
You squat, you deadlift, you press, you do all these things. You clean and and jerk. You pick up a box here and you put it on the shelf. I mean, you do all these things on a daily basis. You don't even realize you're doing it.
Yeah.
And so I try to get people to understand that it doesn't matter if these movements are not familiar to you. We'll teach you. We teach you. We have, once you become a member, you are required to take a class, which you still need to take.
Shame on me. Sorry, I'll be there soon enough.
But being an athlete, you've been taught a lot of these movements already. So I've already witnessed you in class. You're proficient in the movements. We just need to tweak a few things.
Correct.
It's good.
Correct.
But I like people to come in and be comfortable at where they are physically, and just know that you don't have to come in shape.
Yeah.
You come in and we get you in shape. We
Yeah.
take you there.
Yeah.
And we're part of the journey.
Absolutely. So it's for anybody, a beginner. You start at your own pace. One of the things that I do want to point out, because I have experienced your facilities and your teachings, is that no one gets left behind. And really, you let everyone we start together, we finish together, and the environment that you have created, I think, is very open and friendly. It's not intimidating, and certainly something to add. So I want to talk about now a little bit around, so you told us about your concept, okay? And as a new user myself, very similar to, I'm sure, a lot of people out there, we come in with already preconceived notions, our stereotypes of things, right? So I want to talk about some of the myths out there that I personally at one point have had, and one that you recently kind of debunked for myself, which left me in awe of saying, wow, this whole time I'm thinking that I need to be working out a certain duration of time, where you came back and said, no, that is not the case. Tell me a little bit about when we work out and how much time do we really need to work out?
So the time thing, a lot of people, for example, I get a lot of clients to me. So how long are your sessions? Or is a session an hour? Or my answer to them is, it could be an hour, it could be 45 minutes, it could be an hour and 15 minutes. The session is everything I have planned for you that day. If it takes you 40 minutes, it's 40 minutes. If it takes you an hour, it takes you an hour. And, the better in shape you are, it's going to take you less and less time sometimes until we challenge you again. But when people come in and they think that, okay, the workout was 40 minutes and I need to do something else. I need to do that. Sometimes you can be overdoing it. Like, it's funny.
That would be me.
It's funny that you say that, because this concept came up way back in the day. I used to run a Bally Total Fitness. I was a personal training director. And I used to have big muscle guys in my gym. And, they think they're the strongest guys, move the most weight. Yeah, I told one of the guys, dude, I can break you in 6 minutes. He didn't believe me. I said, I can break you. I can work you out in 6 minutes, and that'll be the most intense workout you've had, and you don't have to work out the rest of the day. He didn't believe me. And all we did was body weight movements, which included some cardiovascular. And within 6 minutes, he was laying on the side of the floor with all his boys looking at him, laughing, but understanding they didn't want to go through what he went through. But he had to admit, he's like, dude, I can't do anything anymore. I'm like, I'm shot. We didn't lift a weight.
Wow.
Not a weight. Lunges, squats, push-ups, sit-ups, blah, blah, blah. It was 6 minutes. I programmed it 6 minutes, and that's all I needed.
Wow.
It was just the intensity of it. And he was good.
Yeah. And again, we get so used to doing things a certain way that coming to you is being open to doing things a different way, which, by the way, gets you results.
Correct.
So that's definitely one of them. And then the other is that, and again, I can speak from my experience, the similar CrossFit type of movements are intimidating to me. Not only intimidating, but then I come in with that whole concept, and we've heard it because I think it's the number one thing that we hear all the time is,
I don't want to get big.
I don't want to get big. So talk to me about, I don't want to get big.
Okay. That's the one that kills me the most, because even people in the know still say that, so here's this is what I try to, especially with my ladies. I say, close your eyes. You have two 200-pound men standing in front of you. They're both 200 pounds, because you guys look at the scale. You guys are obsessed with the scale. We'll talk about the scale first. I say, one of them, open your eyes, and you'll see that one of them is a couch potato with a big belly. The other one is a bodybuilder, 8% body fat. Yet, standing in front of you, if they both stand on the scale, they're both 200 pounds. So right there and there, you need to understand that the scale is, eliminate the scale. It's about your body composition. So from there, you have to understand the concept of getting big. Okay. So when anyone talks about getting big, it's just a general statement, but So much goes into it. So not only do you have to change your way of training, meaning you have to lift heavier weights, and much heavier than people think. Number two, and this is the biggest one, your caloric intake is going to double, maybe even triple, depending on what your fitness goal
How
is.
much food you're eating.
Correct. And that combination right there is the combination that's to get you bigger or increase your muscular size to a certain extent of,
Got it.
you know, and most ladies that I speak to, I'm like, you're not going to eat 2,000 more calories a day, are you? They're like, no. Okay. And then we're not going to be giving you overly heavy weights. What I try to come across with is you have to challenge yourself. So the human body is the greatest machine ever. We're always trying to replicate it. But
By the way,
there's no
that. I love
replication.
that line. Would you say it's the best human?
It's the best machine
Yeah.
in the world. No matter how many times we try to replicate it, recreate it, or no, it's the best. Okay. And it heals itself if you do the right things. And one of the best things it does is it adapts quickly. That could be a good thing or a bad thing.
You're talking my language now.
So
yes.
So if you come in, whether you're just a beginner or you're a former athlete, there's a certain level that you're going to get to where, okay, this is not going to be effective for you anymore. You're going to have to lift heavier weight to get the same or better results, and so on and so forth. And that's why I try to tell people that you have to understand that you have to constantly challenge yourself, and that is not conducive to getting big. It's a whole different concept of getting big. There's so much that goes into that, but you have to always challenge yourself after a certain amount of time to keep improving.
Yeah.
So that's where the dichotomy comes in. You have to be able to separate, okay, I have to improve myself and lift more weight now because I'm stronger and in better condition. Yep. But I'm not going to get big because I'm not lifting overly heavy weights and I'm not doubling, of course, my caloric intake.
Of course. So you live and breathe this because it's your passion. It's what you do. So where do you find the time to take care of yourself and keep your body in shape and at the levels that you want?
Okay, well, truthfully speaking, since I've undertaken this endeavor, it's suffered a little bit because I don't have before, I used to have a consistent time every day to get everything I needed to get done for myself. Now, it's more of, okay, once everything is functioning, because we're still not a year old. So once everything is smoothly functioning and things are rolling, and not to say they're not rolling now, but it'll be at a different level, then I'll be able to structure my workouts accordingly. But right now it's more like I have to look at my schedule the day before. Okay, I'll have a break here in the morning. I got to get my workout in at 11. Okay, well, tomorrow I'm booked all day. So I got to wait till after and work out at 8 o'clock at night. Yeah. There's times where I'll close down the gym after the 7 o'clock class, ends at 8, and I'm there and I'm just like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I really don't. But I also know that the time to get the work in and make the improvements is when no one's watching you, when no one's holding you accountable. You got to hold yourself accountable. So I lock it up, turn on the Rocky IV soundtrack, and then I get to work and try to keep it, 30, 20 minutes. I always do. And one thing I do is I will never give you guys anything to do that I don't do or that I won't do myself.
Love that. Listen, I'm a big believer in that completely. But I just want to point out, did y'all hear what he said? Jason is human. Okay. He's not this like fine-tuned machine. He too has his moments. And that, I think, is such a point for everyone to understand, is that we can start a routine, we can start this cadence, and there's always going to be interruptions with your routine, with life. But as long as you keep that intention and the benefits is what's going to keep you from not doing it. So I'm here to say again that a lot of people, I'm sure, are intimidated by you, but you are human. And you just gave us a perfect example in that you too dread it, just like sometimes I dread it. So it's about starting, it's about keeping up some kind of consistency, whatever that looks like for you, until you can really get, I guess, to the point where you're satisfied with it, be it 3 days, 5 days, 7 days. I mean, it's all personal, right?
Right.
One of the things that I love is that the way that you run your business is very personable, right? You really know all your members. You almost hold them accountable. Every single one of them. You do not hesitate to reach out and text to say question mark, where have you been, if you haven't seen in a couple days. And you're really building a community that I believe is really needed because, again, last 2 years, I didn't work out in a gym. And
Right.
so I commend you on that. And I know that you're intentional about that and welcoming anybody, right?
Correct. I want to build like a family atmosphere. You know, I want everyone to get along with everybody. You don't have to be best friends, but I want positive energy, good vibes in the room. When there's, functions on holidays, I'd like to have, if I set something up, I like to have everyone come in and have everyone interact and mingle and generally like each other, you know?
Okay.
So, and I'm a big believer in energy and spiritual and the man upstairs. And before I finished building out this gym, and before we opened, I had certain people come and bless and anoint this facility. So to me, if you're allowed to walk, if he allows you to walk through my doors, that means you belong.
Yeah.
You should be part of the community.
Yeah.
And I have to look at it this way too, because one of my close friends, she said, and she's like, Jason, once this happens, you're going to see the true intentions of a lot of people. You're going to see the truth of a lot of things, and there's going to be disappointment. There's going to be people that you
Yeah.
expected to have your back and be there that won't be there. And then she said, there's going to be others that you didn't that will.
Yeah.
So you might have to redirect how you think about certain things in certain situations and certain people. And that's been pretty big. I've had to think about that. And one of the big things that one of my other friends told me was, Jay, don't get frustrated with people that haven't shown up, whether they're your close friends or people that said they were going to support you. You have to take care of the people that are there.
Yeah.
Those are the people that are showing you
Yeah.
that they care, that they want to be part of your program. And those are the people you cater to.
Yes.
And I had to, very early on, I had to switch my thinking. I'm like, you know what? You're right. These are the people that deserve my full attention.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's hard because you're passionate about what you do and you want the best for everyone. And
Right.
I'm sure like a lot of us out there, we want to help everybody we touch.
Correct.
And so, but you're right. At some point, you have to think of yourself, where your own energy is going, right? And allowing yourself enough space, both mentally, physically, to allow more people to come in. Right.
Correct.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And that's such a great philosophy. And I love that you're talking about all this because a lot of your approach is a rarity. Right. And I think that this is what our community needs, is more places like this that feel welcoming, and telling people, just be open-minded, give things a chance. And between the physical aspect, and I agree with you, the energy aspect, I think that they're in for a very, very pleasant surprise. So with that, if I was to ask, what is your vision with what you're doing right now? Because you also, you touch all different types of people. You touch our youth, right? And you're touching us, I would say, our very early middle-aged person, very early on. Really, you treat everyone. So what's your vision? Like, I don't know, what do you want to do?
Okay. So my original vision was to take over that whole facility and reopen it as a full gym. Because of COVID and the situation and the uncertainty around COVID, I decided to go with half of the space, focus on my class structure and my class idea, and my personal training clients and my athletes. So if I have to say what's the immediate vision, would be to still behold the original vision, which is expand over back to the other side where it says, the full gym, where, you have the benches, the dumbbell racks, all the machines, the cardio equipment, and then you transfer over to the class side. So depending how things go by the end of this year, we'll revisit that and see if that's something we want to do now or maybe still in the future. But so far, so good. I'm ahead of my business projections. I'm not where I need to be yet, but I'm right now I'm ahead of where everyone thought I would be.
Perfect.
Including my business associates.
So at the end of the day, you're an entrepreneur that is building a business around your passion.
Correct.
Which, by the way, that is absolutely spectacular, because I think that that's what everybody wants to wake up and be able to say that they do. So being that you're an entrepreneur, right? This took some kind of risk or leap. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yes. So what would be your words or advice to someone out there that says, man, I have this passion, whatever it may be, right? Whether it's health, whether it's an artistry of some sort. What do you tell them?
Hmm.
Going back and remembering when you were in that moment saying, I think I want to do this. Yeah, I want to do this.
Well, I didn't want to do this at first. I was kind of pushed a little bit, and then it probably took about 2 to 3 years as things evolved.
Okay.
And I guess the one thing in my head was, I've been in those gyms where, you see the 60, 70-year-old guy still doing one-on-one personal training. And I'm just like, dude, I want to be able to pick and choose who I'm working with. I always want to work with people. To me, it's not even work, it's fun. Plus, I'm lucky. I like and love all my clientele. So most people can't say that. So I'm lucky the hours go by like that. But I would say that put your idea down on paper.
Okay.
Put it down,
Mm.
make it detailed. There's going to be things that you cross out, add, slash, whatever. But when it's finalized, okay, and you have your final vision, that's when you can take it to somebody. Or you might not have to take them. You might have all the capital and the funding that you need, and you can just, hey, this is my plan. I'm ready to go, and then you just start funding with it yourself. Most people don't have that luxury. Most people, I would say even people in the highest levels had someone open a door, make a phone call, something like that.
Got it.
So there's usually I'm lucky. I have a bunch of those kind of people in my life
Okay.
that just look out for me. Call me. I mean, I have a couple guys. I'll say him by name, Steve Marin. He calls me. He'll text me, or he'll call me, or he'll send me a DM just out of the blue like that. We don't have to talk every day, every couple of weeks. I see his son every Monday because we play basketball together. But he always has something, a nugget and he's one of my former clients too. He would always bring a nugget of information to the session that I'd just like, damn, I learned something today.
Yeah.
Like, he'll just comment about Jason. Okay, this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So on and so forth. This is my idea. This and that. Take care of this. Look at this. What do you think? Yeah, I like that. Check it out. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And then it's just like that.
I love that. And so write it down, make it realistic, support, right? And just just really go for it. I absolutely love that. I think it's great reminders for everyone. So before we close, I want to leave everybody with just a short video, kind of to give them a feel for what we've talked about today. So if you could play that short video for us, that would be awesome.
Most people, they raise a family, they earn a living, and then they die. They stop growing, they stop working on themselves, they stop stretching, they stop pushing themselves. That a lot of people like to complain, but they don't want to do anything about their situation. And most people don't work on their dreams. Why? One is because of fear. The fear of failure. What if things don't work out? And the fear of success. What if they do and I can't handle it? These are not risk takers. That everybody won't see it, that everybody won't join you, that everybody won't have the vision. It's necessary to know that you are an uncommon breed. It's necessary that you align yourself with people and attract people into your business who are hungry, people who are unstoppable and unreasonable, people who are refusing to leave life just as it is and who want more. The people that are living their dream of finding winners to attach themselves to. The people that are living their dreams are the people that know that if it's going to happen, it's up to them.
If you want to be more successful, if you want to have and do stuff you ain't never done before, number two, I'm asking you to invest in you. To invest in you.
Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality.
I still get goosebumps when I see that.
I love that we played that video at the end because I think that summed up our entire conversation. And what a great close. So one of the last things is, how do we find you?
Well, you can find me on social media, on Instagram at The Athletic Compound or at Physiques in Weeks. Pretty simple. You can find us online.
Beautiful.
theathleticompound.com, physiquesinweeks.com. Or you can come and visit us.
Okay.
In Kings Creek Plaza, 8100 Southwest 81st Drive, Miami, Florida, 33143.
Beautiful. All right. So there you have it. You have a direct invitation to come visit. It's about your health. It's about your body. It's about being open to new possibilities and how you can continue taking care of yourself. It was such a pleasure having you on today.
Oh, thank you for having me. I was excited and coming on.
Of course. And thank you for sharing all your knowledge. And I look forward to still coming. I'll be there tomorrow morning, I promise. And continuing seeing you being successful. So with that, thank you very much for joining us on Recharge Your Life.